everyone to another Skylight adventure. I'm fishing this small stream with a fly rod. The road is literally right there, so not much of a ascent to get in here. But this spot is incredible. I found it a couple of years ago when I was just like, all right, I'm gonna try this part of the creek. It's a really good spot. And I've been inspired by Mason Odner. Shout out to Mason yet again. He was like, yo, can you film a how to fly fish video? So the send today is solely gonna be explaining the most simplistic fly fishing tactics to get your first cast out there and catch a couple fish. First tip, find a small creek where you're not gonna be overwhelmed, it's not gonna be too much water, and not too much cover around that you're gonna get snagged up in. Like, that isn't the best, but most of this creek is pretty open. Second tip, pick yourself up a couple woolly buggers. This is a conehead woolly bugger, olive color. I like black, olive. Those are really the two that I like. I like the coneheads because it sinks down a little bit. So at this point, you got your fly rod in your hand, you got it all rigged up, some nice fly line. For leader, what I use is literally 6-pound Berkeley Trilene. So you don't really need to invest in any crazy leader. I'd recommend an 8-foot, 9-foot fly rod and nothing more than a 4 or 5 weight, because then you're just gonna be overpowering the fish. A 3 weight works too. I kind of wish I had a 3 weight, but this thing is a good middle ground for kind of every kind of fly fishing. And if you're super new to fly fishing, like you have no idea what it's even about, like you think you're fishing for flies in a field, that's not what it is. You actually use the weight of the line to cast, opposed to spin fishing where you just hook it out there and use the weight of the lure. So usually you're fishing with super light flies that stay on the upper part of the water column, the conehead. The reason why I like it is it gets down a little bit deeper. But what you want to do is you want to find a good spot to stand on the bank of the creek where there's not really anything behind you, and you're going to start stripping line out from the reel. You want to have the drag set, so obviously if a fish runs, it's going to pull out, and you don't want it too tight, so then you can't even pull line out to cast. So pull some line out, start bringing the rod back and forth. You're going to get a feel for kind of the flick in the tip of the rod and the motion in order to swing the line back and forth without getting caught in the trees. And you want to create like almost like a loop at the end of the line when you're casting. So always keep your left hand on the line, or whichever, vice versa, however you fly fish. I have the rod in my right hand, line in the left hand. Flick it back and forth. Use a swinging motion with a combination of your wrist and your forearm to sort of flick the line out there. And you see how that cast just sort of coiled up and shot out there? That's what you want when you're casting with the fly. Next little spot we got up here. Looking so good. So this is some deeper water, so I'm casting it out with that little technique I was showing you guys. Another tip I forgot to mention for casting is you want to make the cast longer on each stroke with the rod. So each time you pull the line back and forth, let some line slip through your fingers to elongate the cast to the exact length that you want. And fly fishing is cool because you can get really precise with exactly where you put the cast depending on how much line you have out. You could literally make the same cast 100 times in a row, which you would not be able to do with spin fishing unless you're a good caster. My number one tip with just where to practice fly casts, you don't want to go on the stream before you've cast. You want to go in an open field, maybe your backyard, somewhere where you won't hook anything and don't have a hook on the line. Just literally use the straight fly line and fly rod and perfect just the sweeping back and forth motion. Perfect it better than me so you don't get snagged in the trees. And I'm definitely not here to say I'm a professional fly angler, but it's fun, you know? It's just fun to come out here and fly fish every now and then. Wait, and I'm snagged again. I'm following the creek up and there's a little tributary here that, I got a feeling, man. I got a feeling about this little tributary. I'm gonna try to catch the first fish of the day for you guys and kind of show you the technique for when you do get a bite, because chances are, one of the hardest things is first getting a bite and then hooking the fish. The fly rods are so long, it's hard to hike through the woods with them. Where's my ultralight? Whoa, there's a trout in here, I saw him. Could have just hiked up this thing, I don't know what I was thinking. But the spot up here is gonna call for a roll cast or a bow and arrow cast. The bow and arrow is when you take the fly in your hand, make sure you hold behind the hook, and you simply pull back, bend in the rod, and you're able to flick the line out there. Very helpful technique when you're fishing tiny water like this, putting water out. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, we'll see. Can't speak too soon. Might be able to get a cast in here. There we go. Got him, fish on. out of the pipe. No way. That's so sick. That's so sick. That's the first trout of the day. He's back. He's back in the hole. Oh man. So that was a slight fail. Get your line back out there. You can literally cast many times, like I was saying. So maybe catch some more trout. Just putting it out there right now. Fly fishing can be ultra frustrating. I'm talking about just it puts your patience and your skills as an angler to hold in your absolute rage quit. You can get tangled anywhere at any time with any lure. You just, oh, see, I just got snagged again. And when you're in tight quarters, you might feel really claustrophobic. So just when you're going out there, be conscious of that and then keep fishing, because you never know what you're gonna get. There could be another fish in here. I'm super tempted to go to the pond up here. There's a pond on the other side of this drain, and might as well. Yeah, look at this water that I was fishing. I mean, such close quarters. So hard to fish in here. Let's take one cast in the pond, shall we? Pond cast going out. This is where the water drains out of the pond. Should be pretty key. Got him. Oh, that was a fish. That was a fish. That was a trout out of the pond. That's crazy. See if we can get him again. Got him. Fish on. Fish on in the pond. That's a largemouth. That's a largemouth, but I lost a trout. I did lose a trout. Get him back there. I saw like a 24-inch brown in here in the pond. Got him. Oh, another largemouth. I'm looking for that trout though. There was just a monster trout out here. So when you're fly fishing a streamer like I am, doing sort of like a, oh, there he is. Guys, there's a monster trout in front of me. Got him. Giant rainbow, giant, out of the pond. My line is just so caught up everywhere. The freaking toad. And there's a brown right next to him. Get my line back. So I was gonna give you guys a little tip right before I got this bite. What you wanna do when you're fly fishing a streamer is you wanna do a strip set where you keep the rod straight and you pull the line straight back without putting a bend in the rod to hook set the fish. Oh my God, this is a giant rainbow. Oh, gotta land this thing. Holy crap. And then I'm gonna put him right back and try to get the brown, because there's a monster brown right next to him. Whew. What? This is a gorgeous one too. Wow. Got him. On the woolly right there. Gorgeous fish. Oh, he is back before I even had a chance to say goodbye. So the strip set that I was talking about is you work the fly back like this, you're stripping the line in, and then instead of jerking the rod to the side to set the hook, you just literally pull the line and keep the rod straight. That's how you successfully set the hook on a fish with a woolly bugger or a streamer. And where is this brown though? Oh, that's a bass. That's a bass, not a brown. Holy crap! Look at, oh my God, he's right in front of me. He's right in front of me. Guys, look at this. Look at this. Oh, he's gonna come for it. All right, last cast in the pond. It's getting way too windy out here to fish the pond. Maybe I'll come back. Yeah, look at this wind. Holy crap. Wow. It got way too windy fishing that pond. I'm going back to the creek because with the fly rod, when you're facing some wind, you can't always manage as good as you want to. And I didn't even really think I'd fish the pond. I've never even seen this little tributary before. Never knew that existed. That was insane. It's like a little pond on a wild trout stream. So you got these monster pond fish. Oh. So I'm making my way back down towards the stream, and yeah, I mean, this is just the reality of fly fishing sometimes. You have the opportunity to get some insane bites, you get the bites, and then you also get super tangled, and it could be frustrating, could be really discouraging, especially when you're getting into it. But one thing I gotta say, just don't give up. Keep fishing, keep sending it, and just, yeah, even if you go out there, you get skunked 20 times in a row, still walk out of every trip with a smile on your face, because that's how you'll honestly catch the big ones in the future. Because if you get discouraged and give up, you're not catching anything. You're not even catching good vibes. I'm still just mesmerized by that rainbow I caught. Holy crap. This is a nice open area. This is kind of what I'd recommend for starting your fly fishing cast. Another recap for the cast. Bring the line back, strip line from the reel, and keep on letting the line slide through your fingers like I'm doing. Make the cast longer. And once you're happy with the length, give it a good flick out there. Make sure the line's try to make sure the line is going as straight and evenly as it could. If you do happen to get snagged in a tree with fly fishing, what I find is you can actually use the weight of the line to get the fly out, like I did right there. All you want to do sometimes is like, oh, see, it's in the tree, wiggle it back, flick it over, and then just kind of shake the tip of the rod. And 8 times out of 10, you can get it out that way. One thing about fly fishing too is it just takes a lot more time. If you get a leaf on your bait or get your lure tangled up like I did right here, you gotta reel it all the way back in, figure out the problem, and then kind of start a whole cast all over again. Spin fishing, you just huck it back out. That's why, honestly, like spin fishing, it's like, could be more relaxing sometimes. If it's a day when you're just kind of like anxious to get bites and you just want to not worry about the technicalities of the fly. All right, up here in the current, should be, oh, that was a nice fish. Missed him. Should be getting into some nicer fish. And I'm not sure if the GoPro is able to capture sort of the way that my line cascades off the tip of the rod, because that's the kind of motion that you need when you're fly fishing. You want the line to go out as straight as possible. And when you cast, you don't want a bunch of zigzags in your line. That takes both practice and also, there we go, fish on. And also just learning your rod, because it depends rod to rod, depends fish to fish. This is a little wild brown, nice. And sometimes you'll just catch fish, techniques aside, you'll just cast out there and get them like I did on my first cast. That's a nice little wild one on the olive bugger. Definitely getting into some good water up here. You know you're doing something right when you're catching a wild trout, because they're a lot more picky than those stalkers. Oh, another one. There are so many fish up here, guys. There are so many fish. This pool up here is prime habitat for stock trout. It's prime habitat for fish kind of staging up to spawn. It's a good, slow moving, deep run on the river. And I'm curious to see what I can pull out of here. Oh, nice cast. Oh, nice one. There we go, there we go. That's a rainbow. Stocked fish, like I was talking about, on the bugger. Got to catch up to them. Wow, when these fish come at you too on the fly, you got to really strip the line in. And what I do to reel the fish in that I didn't talk about yet is sometimes I'll reel the backing up, so then I'm connected with the fish again on the reel, which is actually usually the way to go. But for the most part, how I fight the fish, this rainbow is also fighting like crazy, is I take the line in my finger and I strip it back, so my drag is controlled by my finger instead of the reel. It's usually a pretty good way to get some fish. Ooh, wow. That almost looks like a wild one. I can't tell. That does really look like a wild rainbow. I thought it was a stocky though. I'm not sure. Either way though, get him back. Let him go, let him grow. That could have been a wild trout. I guess another good rule of thumb for fly fishing is fish untapped territory where no one else is fishing. Got him, another fish, another rainbow on the bugger. Let's take a look at this fish. I think they're stocked rainbows. I think they're just really nice. Yeah, see that? Yeah, I think they're stalkers, but beauty. Beauty, wow, and the fish are just biting like crazy. Olive woolly bugger mixed with some good water is always a good way to get a bite, or 2 or 3. Oh, get ready for this. Get ready for this. Oh. Oh. Oh, got him, fish on. There we go. Another one. This is that's a brown. There was something big on him though. Let's get him landed. Another beautiful wild one, choked it. Choked the woolly bugger. I guess the theme for today's video is just streamer fishing. Oh, big one. There we go. That might be a brook trout. There we go. Ah. Oh, that might be another rainbow. It's a nice wild. Ooh. Beauty. Here we are checking out the scent. This is a road I was talking about. That trout spot is not remote whatsoever. I'm heading out after that last brown trout catch. Didn't have any more time to fish, but I hope I got some good fly fishing tips out there. You guys inspired you to hit the water and maybe try something new, because fly fishing is definitely a cool way to target the trout and a much more natural presentation, in my opinion. When you're throwing a streamer or a woolly bugger, it just gets bites. So until next time, keep on getting out there, keep on promoting positivity of fishing, and keep on sending it no matter what, no matter where you are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Skylight out.